What do you do when the dead start talking to you? The first time I heard it, I thought it was just my brain glitching from exhaustion. Night shift does that. Your body tries to sleep while your job demands you stay awake in a room with metal drawers and zipped bags that remind you how temporary we all are. But this wasn't fatigue talking. It sounded like a whisper, like someone trying to talk through a pillow. I froze, leaned closer, and heard it again. A voice from inside a sealed body bag. I should probably explain that I work in a hospital morgue. Not glamorous, not mysterious, just quiet, cold, and painfully honest about what happens to all of us eventually. My job is mostly paperwork, logging IDs, making sure nothing goes missing, making sure every name matches every body so no family ever has to face a nightmare on top of a nightmare. It's routine. It's strangely peaceful, until it wasn't anymore. The nights are usually still, just the hum of freezers and the soft echo of my footsteps. I used to love that quiet. No drama, no chaos, just order. But recently, the quiet felt like it was holding its breath, like the room was listening to me instead of me listening to it. I brushed it off. Long hours, too much caffeine, weird hospital vibes. Happens. Then the whispers became clearer. It didn't sound like pain or screaming. That would almost be easier to dismiss as my imagination. This sounded like someone trying to talk. Soft, urgent, just barely there. I leaned in with this stupid idea that maybe there was some logical explanation. Maybe air pressure, maybe pipes, maybe literally anything that didn't equal dead people are speaking. But then I heard my name. Not loudly, not echoing movie horror style, just a soft, broken attempt like someone's lips were barely able to move under the zipper. That was the moment my heart genuinely hurt. Not pounding, not dramatic, just this slow, heavy pressure, like I'd swallowed something cold and it was spreading. I kept telling myself, you work in a place where grief hangs on everything. Maybe you just absorb too much of it. Maybe you're projecting. Maybe you're losing it. But I couldn't ignore it when the whispering started matching the files. Every night, like clockwork, there'd be this small voice, different tones, different rhythms. Some sounded confused, some sounded calm, one sounded tired. I'd check tags just to convince myself it was coincidence. Names, ages, dates. It felt like something was trying to talk, but trapped in a place where words couldn't fully form. I stopped sleeping properly. I stopped talking to people about anything real because how do you casually say, hey, I think the dead are trying to talk to me, but I'm still totally okay mentally? My coworkers joke about morgue superstition sometimes, but this wasn't a joke. And if I said it out loud, it would either become real or they'd assume I was losing it. Both options terrified me. Then we got a teenage boy, car accident, the kind that rips families apart and leaves a quiet in the air that feels disrespectful to break. When I wheeled him in that night, everything in me felt like it wanted to apologize. I zipped the bag, logged the file, tried to breathe normally again. I told myself to stop humanizing them so much. Just do the job, keep the order, keep the calm. And then it happened again, whispering. But this time it wasn't vague. It wasn't fragments, it was begging. Please? That was it. Just that. So soft, it barely existed. So heavy, it felt like it crushed the room around it. And I just stood there with this horrible awareness that something was wrong and I could not fix it. I had never felt smaller. I didn't unzip anything. I didn't touch anything. I just stood there knowing he couldn't breathe, couldn't move, couldn't do anything except exist in silence that I was now painfully aware of. When the voice faded, the quiet came back, but it wasn't peaceful anymore. It felt like guilt stitched into the air. I realized then that this job was supposed to be about dignity, about letting people rest. But if even one of those whispers meant something real, then I'm standing between silence and someone's last attempt to say anything at all. I don't know if that makes them ghosts or memory echoes or just my exhausted brain breaking itself to cope with seeing so much loss. I honestly don't know which option is worse. Now every night I clock in, stand in that cold room and listen. I don't talk back. I don't run. I don't claim to be brave. I just listen and wonder if doing nothing makes me complicit in something I can't even fully understand. So here's what I can't get out of my head, and I genuinely want to know what you do. If you heard the dead whispering, if it sounded real, if it sounded like they needed something, do you open the bag? Do you tell someone and risk being labeled insane? Or do you stay silent and pretend you heard nothing, even if that silence follows you forever?